Alreet everyone, Geordie Paul here. Welcome back as always to Magpie Movies. Thank you for joining me. Today we're doing a review of the 2021 Halloweenkills film, which is the sequel to the 2018 Halloween, which of course is the sequel to the 1978 Halloween. So technically it's not 2021's Halloweenkills, it's 2020's Halloweenkills, because it's supposed to come out last year, and then next year we're supposed to get Halloween Ends, but Halloween Ends hasn't been filmed yet, so we only have Halloweenkills. Anyway, I went to see it last night with one of my friends who, on the way to the cinema, I said to him, so have you seen the 2018 Halloween? And he said no. Yeah. So when we sat down in the cinema, I had to give him a brief rundown of what happened in Halloween. He had said that after I booked the tickets, he'd seen the 1978 one and then the 1981 Halloween 2. And I was like, yeah, okay, you only kind of need to see 78. But yes, anyway, there we go. So, I was born in 1978, and in 1978, John Carpenter's Halloween got released on a measly budget, I believe, of $300,000. It didn't get a distributor, so one of the guys involved in it had to go around Hollywood and distribute it at individual cinemas, and then gain a following, and then obviously then it got distributed across the world in the UK, etc. But yes, this is a very, very good film. It's a classic. John Carpenter's follow-up to Assault on Precinct 13, which was a flop in America but was loved in the UK. Yeah, Halloween, very good. It kind of defined the slasher stalker kind of genre. I'm sure if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have Freddy, we wouldn't have Jason Voorhees, we wouldn't have Scream, we wouldn't have where we are today if it wasn't for this and it wasn't for Michael Myers. And of course, if it wasn't for Star Trek and of course Bill Shatner and his mask, we wouldn't have the Michael Myers famed mask. So yes, so 1978. And then comes along 2018 when David Gordon Green starts to direct Halloween, which is the direct sequel to 1978's Halloween. So all these you see behind me, well, apart from these two because they're not very good, have been forgotten about. So this goes straight to that. So I went to see it last night. I can say that it was quite eventful because in front of me, well, about 2 rows in front of me, a person had decided to get absolutely smashed, went out on the sauce before going to the cinema, was cabbaged over their seat, thrown up, and you could smell like a mix of popcorn and red wine, which was delightful, yeah. His friends tried to lift him up and to remove him, but they couldn't. They then had to have a member of the cinema staff to come in to lift him, but they wouldn't do it anyway because they're not supposed to, I'm guessing. His friends went, he's going, no, 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 and they left him. And then the police eventually came and they basically took no prisoners. They lifted him up, dragged him out, and then all these friends went with him, and then they came back. One of his mates was like, that policeman was a right knobhead, he told me to leave. Well, here's an idea, fella. Don't go drinking with all your friends before you go to the cinema at a 8:30 screening. So I don't know what time you've been out since. You're either tanked up on drugs or whatever, I don't know. But if your mate's that and smashed, don't take him to the cinema, and don't be a complete bellend when you have to get the police who have probably got better things to do than look after your drunk mate. So don't be a knob. So yes, anyway, Halloweenkills. Yes, as I said, I saw it last night. Let's go through a few things. So, 1978, it ends with Michael Myers. Spoiler, by the way. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of Halloweenkills. But with these two, I'm hoping you've seen them, since why you're watching this. The end of this, Loomis shoots him. He goes over the balcony. He looks over the balcony. He's gone. Next thing we know, fast forward 40 years. We're in 2018. Michael's in the Smiths Grove Institute. He then goes on a transport. He breaks out. He then goes back to Haddonfield. He ends with getting confronted by Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode character, Alison and Karen, her daughter and granddaughter. They trap him in the basement, they set it on fire, they leave, and they believe they've killed the Shape, the boogeyman, Michael Myers. He's dead. There we go, that's the end. So that from there to there is where we're up to. However, of course, we all know that Halloweenkills is the second part of the Halloween new 2018 to probably 2022-23 trilogy, directed by David Gordon Green. And of course, we have Brian McBride, you know, the Southbound and Down, I think he's in, and he was in Alien Covenant. He's in there as like a producer and a writer and everything. But yeah, so it picks up basically straight after the first film, as you thought it would have done. But there is a flashback. Now, within this flashback, it reveals how we got from that to that and how he got captured. Since Rogue One introduced Tarkin, and then Rise of Skywalker did a bit of a young Leia with the face mapping, they've done an excellent job with regards to Dr. Samuel Loomis and how they've got her onto an actor. I think he's like a producer within the actual film, or some kind of person to do with the background of making Halloween Kills. So they've done that excellently. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so it picks up, and then we've got Michael Myers is then, obviously, as we've seen from the trailer, he leaves out the house, he attacks the fireman, which is not a spoiler because that's in the trailer. We then get the townsfolk thinking they've now had enough of Michael Myers and going out to get him. And that's basically it. It is very much a middle movie. That's how I would describe it. So yeah, so that is basically the synopsis. I'm not going to go into anything because this is a spoiler-free review. This is just my honest thoughts with regards to Halloween Kills. So it's on for about an hour and a half. It is in the widescreen format because you can see the black bars at the top and bottom of the cinema. So when it gets released, goodness knows when, because we already know the 4K Steelbook has been on pre-order at Zavvi, as well as the Amaray and the Blu-ray, etc. So it'll probably be released December, January, I would have thought. With it being a year later, they've clearly just already got the discs pressed and ready to go into Blu-ray and 4K format. So it's just a case of waiting for a release date, really. So yeah, so what did I think of Halloween Kills? Right, so we'll go through a few things. As I said, the background of how we got Michael from disappearing to into Misgrove Sanitarium to where he is now is explained. We have original 1978 casts 40 years later coming back to reprise their role. We have Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously still a major part of it. We have Alison and we have Karen, who was a major part of it. I came out of it, if I'm being perfectly honest, enjoying it, but it wasn't as good as 2018. That's my first impressions. There is gore in it, and you can tell that Michael Myers is really pissed off. The Michael Myers part of it when he's in it is excellent. There's a couple who live in the Myers house, which kind of annoy me. The hospital, the second, also Halloween 2, 1981 is set in hospital. There is hospital in this with regards to all the victims going there. And that's where the mob begins, I guess, to build up. There's homages to Halloween 3 with the Halloween masks in there. The Season of the Witch mask, the pumpkin, the Green Witch, and the skull. They're all in there. Loomis is in there, as I said. There is gore. I know people have said there's too much gore. I've heard people say it's brutal. I personally didn't see any of that. It's as it should be, I think. It's not a Tarantino end of movie kind of blood all over the places, but you know, the knives go in and eye gouges and kind of fireman's saw attacks. Exploding head. But no, I don't think it's over the top gore personally. I don't think it's under the top gore. I think the gore is on point, is as it should be. This film is very much a Michael Myers revenge movie. We've gone from the Laurie Strode character wanting to seek revenge on Michael and trapping him, and now he's basically broke out of where she trapped him, and he's just going around killing everybody, basically. It does end somewhat abruptly, which leads it up to Halloween Ends. There are no after scene credits. I'll wait till the very end just in case there weren't. Once it ends and the credits come up, that's your lot. I thought acting was great. There's a lot of people who are in this film, who are in this middle film, Halloween Kills, which don't have a bigger role. It's more about exploring Michael Myers escaping, going into the community, and the community's response to him being in there. Because they're very much in here, everyone is hiding, whereas in this one, they're out to get him. But yeah, so that's it. So that's what I think of it so far. I don't want to go into too much of it, because otherwise I'll be here all day. So I'm going to look at this as a review and scaling point from two perspectives. From me as a Halloween franchise fan and as someone who goes to see it as a slasher genre. So if we go down the Halloween fan role, such as myself, I was looking forward to seeing this. Did it hit my expectations that were quite high? No. Is the film rubbish? No. Is it as good as Halloween 2018? No. Is it anywhere near as good? No, definitely not. It is an Empire Strikes Back movie. I know Empire Strikes Back is technically classed as the Star Wars best movie. I understand that. But in a kind of a trilogy, it's a middle trilogy. So you have the ending of New Hope, which is ending, and we begin Empire Strikes Back, which leads up to the end of the Death Star and the Empire and Return of the Jedi. So you have this middle bit. That's exactly what Halloweenkills in. I came out of the cinema feeling this was a filler episode. We've watched them, you know, with The Mandalorian, with Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier. You've got 8 episodes in there, and you know about 2 or 3 of them are going to be filler episodes. This is what this seemed like to me, but it still had a lot of homages to the original first one and the third film. So from my point of view, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. That's what I would rate it. It's not as, like I said, it's not as good as this one. This to me is an 8.5, and this to me is a 9.5. But it's a filler episode. This is a trilogy. It's probably going to be best to watch all these back to back from start to finish and truly appreciate them. For example, I've started watching all the Daniel Craig, James Bond movies from Casino Royale all the way through to Spectre before I went to see No Time to Die, and I appreciate the 5 films as a whole a lot better than when they came out individually every 2 or 3 years or whatever. So I have a lot more. I like Quantum of Solace a lot more because it's part of it. It's a chain. It's all linked together. And once you have the full picture, the fuller picture, the better picture, it'll make more sense. So once Halloweenkills comes out and then Halloween Ends comes out and we watch it from start to finish, I think it'll be a great trilogy. But I still think that this one so far is good, and then obviously that one. But 7.5 out of 10. Now, as a person who's gone into the cinema expecting something and not a big fan of the Halloween franchise and isn't biased, I would rate it as a 5 out of 10 because it's nothing great and it's nothing special, and I can understand how people may think it drags in the middle and how there could be some character flaws in there, and you've got a lot of characters in there which you don't kind of invest in and progress in, although they're there from the first film, as in the 2018 one. They're not really progressed and opened up a bit more, for want of a better phrase, not by Michael Myers, but their characters aren't explored a lot more in this one. So they are there because they're in the first one, and obviously they're going to be there in the last one. So this is very much, I think, exploring. I think with first one it was going to be Michael coming out and meeting Laurie Strode. This one is going to be how the town's reacted to it, how they're sick of all these things, and then the final one is going to be the big showdown. So it's bound to be a middle ground, but 5 out of 10 from a neutral point of view. For me, as a massive fan of the Halloween franchise, it's going to be a 7.5 out of 10. So there you go. So that's my honest opinion on it. Whether you agree with me or don't, then drop a comment down below. That's it. I just thought, because it's fresh in my mind, I'm going to watch it again this weekend. Touch wood if I've got time to do so. But yeah, so thank you very much again for watching. This is my review of Halloweenkills, a 7.5 out of 10. I'll hope to see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and that would be great. That's it. So this is Geordie Paul, last surviving member of Magpie Movies, signing out, and I'll see you all on my next video. Thanks for watching.